pressure looks good.
Doubling up. Roger roll, Atlantic.
Water towers can fly! Yes!
Tango Delta nominal.
Flight outside speed off. Bring in SCE off. Off.
Yikes. You bet. Okay. We don't need any more of these.
Okay, campers, rise and shine, and don't forget your booties because it's cold out there today. I'm sorry, I just had to do that. Happy Groundhog Day, everybody. Take it away, Dust.
Jack, it's cold out there every day. Come on, man. Folks, we are here for
What is
another...
it, Miami Beach?
We're out here for another launch broadcast with NASASpaceflight. The crew has rolled out to Vandenberg Space Force Base today for the launch of NROL-87. My name is John Galloway. You may know me as DOS for NASASpaceflight here. And we will be sharing this with you live from the West Coast. Out in the field today, we've got Mr. Jack Beyer, who may or may not have some comms. Jack, do we have you? Let's see if we get Robot Jack or not.
You should not have Robot Jack, but I probably just jinxed it. But it is Groundhog's Day again. I'm just going to keep making references throughout the broadcast. I apologize.
That's fine with me. Jack out there is running one of our crewed cameras today. And also, this is different. This isn't normally the way that it happens. Mr. Michael Baylor is out in the field today. I don't know if we have him on comms, but he is operating a bit of an experiment for us. Michael, I don't know if you're going to check in or not. Do we have you on comms?
Hi. I left all my cameras at the launch pad, so I didn't have anything to use to track the launch with until this robot showed up.
We got most of what Michael said there. He's put a bunch of remote cameras around the launch pad, apparently, and he got a special treat in a Pelican case, so he's going to be using a robot to attempt to track the launch today. So we got most of what he said there. Yeah, we copy that, y'all. Thank you so much for the feedback. And then helping me out in the studio, we also have Mr. Gavin. Gav, how you doing, dude?
I am all good. You know, SpaceX was kind enough to give us yesterday off, and then we're back on it today with another launch. So
we are back on it today. So between myself and Gav, we'll be doing what we usually do on the broadcasts. If you've got questions for us, tag us in chat at NASASpaceflight. That is the way to get some questions for us. But as of right now, we're coming up on around T-minus 34 minutes till the launch. Now, this is an NROL launch. It's NROL-87, which means that it's a classified National Reconnaissance Office mission. Don't have a lot of information about exactly what the satellite is, but if you read the article that NASASpaceflight put out, I know I did, you would know that this is most likely some sort of electro-optical imaging satellite that's going to a specific orbit that is useful for satellites like that. But it does not, we don't have any official information on exactly what this satellite is supposed to do. All we can do is guess. You're right. Observation satellite. That's the way we like to say that one. Observation satellite. Out of the gate, there is probably a question that people are wanting to ask, but it doesn't make sense today. Gavin, what are people supposed to be asking? Or Jack. Thank you, Jack.
Jack seems keen. Jack?
Oh, I'm just happy because the question is unanswerable today, which is everyone always asks what the Four Towers is, and there are no Four Towers. There's no lightning protection system at this pad.
Now, we don't need a lightning protection system because we're not at Cape Canaveral. We're on the West Coast, not known for its lightning storms, I guess. So you will see the nice... Go ahead.
Best Coast, not West Coast.
Oh, sorry. I'm supposed to say Best Coast, apparently, Michael, with the yeehaw jumping in with the comment there. The Best Coast out there doesn't have as many lightning strikes, I guess, so you don't see the Four Towers that we normally joke about around the rocket. What you see out there is just the rocket. We'll switch over to Jack's camera real quick. That is the transporter erector. You've got the building that it rolls in and out of, and the rocket. In fact, if you look at it, the rocket is the tallest point there, except for the mountain, which goes off to the left and is also taller than the rocket. But that's what we're going to be doing, like I said, coming up on 30 minutes here. Hopefully we start to see some venting shortly, and we hopefully get a launch. Also today, this is an RTLS. It's coming back home. So the landing pad, if you look at this shot here, little trees in the foreground. And then there's that little white building sort of near the bigger trees. Oh, look, the camera may actually zoom in on this. The rocket should be coming back and attempting a landing at the LZ here, which is going to be just above those trees where the camera is sort of zooming towards right now. So we may get the sort of double. It's not really a double header, I guess, but it's like a launch and a landing. It's 1.5 events. I'm not really sure how to say that. But it'll be right in that area there, and we're going to have multiple cameras on it watching for the rocket to launch that NROL-87 payload and come back down to land. So, Gav, do you want to grab some questions for us?
Yeah, I'm just working an issue with the question queue. But while I look at that, I know we've already said that Vandenberg's not known for electrical storms. What is it normally known for that there is a significant lack of today?
Fog.
There's no fog. Yay! Hooray! If there was fog, I would have had to say, well, it's Foghound's Day again, but now I don't have to say that.
All right. So let's see if we can't grab some of the questions through. I think some people in chat are sort of talking about a slip, and there was a little bit of a change in the T0 time. SpaceX did update that T0 time a little bit. A tweet 14 minutes ago talking about moving that launch back to 12:27 p.m. on the West Coast Pacific time. We've already changed our clocks to count from there. So apparently my mom is also watching. Hey, Mom, how's it going? Time for a rocket launch. Share it with the rest of the family. Yeah.
Yeah, that change in the T0 is going to be interesting for remote camera purposes because I know Michael and myself and Jay, we all set video remotes. And those video remotes are set for a specific time. And that time has changed. So everybody pray for the video remotes.
Excellent. So a couple questions coming through. Gav, I can grab a couple of these while we grab some. Maybe we have to refresh that software. But is this the first RTLS for the West Coast? I know that it's not because I was there for SAOCOM. Was it 1A, 1B? They started adding letters and they tripped me up. I was out there for one of the SAOCOMs that landed at that LZ in the same spot that we're watching from today. So it's not the first one over on the West Coast. Good question, though.
No, it's not even the first daytime RTLS because that was Sentinel-6, I think, about 2 years ago. So it is a thing that has happened here before, although not as often as we might like. So it's definitely a nice day. Not only is it a nice sunny day, but there's no fog, as we previously mentioned. So definitely not necessarily the first or anything, but definitely uncommon and a little bit special that this is a daytime RTLS with clear visibility. Knock on wood.
Knock on wood. Good deal. Let's see here. Oh, well, apparently a couple super chats coming in as well. James Juries, thank you so much with the question. Here's one. It says, why do drone ship landings burn start at 2 kilometers, but RTLS landing burns start at 5 kilometers? Should I take a wag at that one? Gav, that says drone ship in it. I feel like you should answer that.
It says drone ship in it. That doesn't necessarily mean that I know the answer. I don't have a good question for that. I haven't actually seen those numbers before. I'm not going to make any assumptions and lead everyone down the wrong path. I don't know the answer to that question, I'm afraid.
Okay.
Well, we can work on that. We can find out.
I might be able to take an educated guess, like assuming that the numbers are accurate. I know that when you have an RTLS, the Falcon is coming down initially targeting off the coast, which is a little bit further away than the water next to the drone ship, because the drone ship's sort of surrounded by water, right? So I wonder if they don't have to start those a little bit differently so that they have time to deflect that trajectory onto the LZ across the land versus the drone ship. If you miss the drone ship by 10 meters, well, you still hit the water. But here, if you miss the LZ by 10 meters, you're going to be destroying the best coast, or a small portion of the best coast, I guess you could say. So that would be my informed conjecture about why they may start those landing burns a little bit differently, just a little bit more deflection needed between the LZ and the target that they're targeting until everything is going well right before landing. Let's see. I'm going to grab these before they scroll too far off. And we've got, let's see, JD Brown. thank you so much for the $10. This is a good question. Why do NRO missions use animals on their mission logos as symbols for certain things? There is a mountain goat on the mission patch today. So, is that just like their theme, I would guess, Gav?
Oh, hang on. I was looking at this. I was looking this up just before you went live because I quite like the patch. Hang on a sec. I'll find the answer because there is a symbolic reason behind it. Okay, here we go. So the description the NRO gave for this was: the patch features a wild mountain goat standing proud atop a mountain peak, remaining watchfully alert. And the idea behind that is the NRO is maintaining constant vigilance from above in protecting our nation and citizens. So that's the symbolic reason there behind the mountain goat.
Apparently somebody had to justify why they chose the mountain goat and wrote a small paper about it.
You can't just have a nice mountain goat. It has to have a story.
Yeah, it has to have a story behind it. I like it.
Now that we get that question, though, I am kind of realizing, like, yeah, I don't know about all, but definitely it seems like a lot of them feature animals. I mean, there's famously the one with the octopus. There's a... hang on, I'm going to go ask the NRO folks that are here.
Huh. Jack's just going to... Hey, don't unplug any wires if you're wearing a backpack or anything while you walk. Oh my gosh, did his feed just drop? Hopefully not. Anyways, a great question there, and thank you for the support, JD Brown. Smooth Juice with some curly L's coming through. Smooth Juice, thank you so much for the 45 pounds. Can I say pounds sterling? It sounds cooler if I say pounds sterling.
That is correct, yeah.
Is that correct?
As the resident British person, you can say pounds sterling.
Cool. It just sounds more official, like very formal if I say it that way. Rough Rider Show 999 says Jack earns 2 Apple boxes for today. I think we're looking at the February 2nd references there again. Here's a question that came through from Ticonderoga. Can existing Falcon 9s be fitted with Raptor 2 with some retrofitting, or does Raptor 2 need a new Falcon platform? We've heard that before. What do you think about it, Gav?
I'm going to say no.
Yeah, I think that's the answer we've given.
Out of the gate.
Yeah.
It's completely different rocket type, isn't it? It's a different engine.
Different fuel type, even. So could you create something that looked like a Falcon 9 but actually used methane instead of RP1? Potentially, you could.
Maybe.
But
why would you want to?
Yeah, would you just be bolting a Raptor 2 on the bottom of a Falcon 9 as is? Probably not. So, good question.
Right, because tank sizes are going to change due to different propellant and oxidizer ratios. The tank sizes would have to be shifted. And then it's basically just a completely different rocket.
You got it. Let's see here. Alexander Ash asked, will you cover the new rocket launches in the UK? I mean, we've got some people in the UK, don't we?
Maybe.
I don't know.
Ask them nicely, they might.
There's your answer, Alexander asked. If you ask them nicely, they might. Certainly, we love to cover launches all over the world? No, cover launches all over the world. And when rockets start flying from other places, I guarantee you we'll be looking at how we can share that with you. VLX, appreciate the support as well. Thank you so much. And then finally, Joseph Pistrito says, still not tired of RTLS landings. Thanks for the coverage. Joseph, thank you so much for the support. Y'all keep showing up, and we will keep pushing pixels your way so that you can magically display them on your computer monitors and join us. Let's see
It's the future. We can do that.
It is.
And a little bit of follow-up. The NRO folks say not all their patches feature animals, and it's just completely random.
Wow.
So no overarching conspiracy theory. You can just take your tinfoil hat off right now.
Okay, I'm glad we got that cleared up. Let's see here. I guess I sort of ran through the super chats there, Gav. So do you want to grab a couple of the miscellaneous questions we've got?
Yeah, one burning question that's very popular in chat. This is from here. The question was asked by Nicholas Fierce at NASASpaceflight. What does the NROL stand for?
You're just going to ask it, or do I have to? To answer? Like, if you read it, do I have to answer?
It's part of the experience. I could ask you the question, then you could answer me back, or I could just ask it.
I mean, I know the answer, but do you know the answer? Maybe you should answer.
I'm pretty sure it stands for National Reconnaissance Office Launch.
There you go.
But I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm correct.
I think you got it there.
Awesome stuff. Okay, let's have a quick look through the other questions to get other question queue. Oh, here we go. Izzy J at NASASpaceflight. What's the launch window like? Is it an instantaneous window?
See, that's weird. Because
it is weird.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because, yes, it's an instantaneous launch window, but earlier today, SpaceX changed the time of the launch. It was originally launching at, I'm going to try and convert this in my head. I can't do it. It was at it was 12:18 Pacific time.
Yep.
But it since has moved, and we're now launching at 12:26 Pacific time. 12:27 and 26 seconds Pacific time. So yes, it's instantaneous. However, apparently SpaceX can just move the launch time for unknown reasons.
See, I can answer that for you. It is, air quote, wink wink, instantaneous, but it's also NROL. So sometimes we don't get a lot of exact details on the launch windows, because if you know the launch window, then you know a lot more about things like the weight of the satellite, where it's going to, yada, yada, yada. So sometimes we don't get specific details. Like sometimes the windows we may hear may be a little bit nebulous just to help mask different aspects of the satellite. So we thought it was instantaneous, and then it moved. Go ahead, Jack.
There's also the aspect I do think of like space-based situational awareness. Like if another country or if somebody knows when a payload is going to go into orbit, then they might be able to position assets to image that payload or inspect it or what have you as it's on orbit. So, or in orbit. Oh my gosh, we just talked about this the other day. But oh, look at it, Falcon 9's venting.
It is.
T-minus 20-minute vent, everybody.
It's the T-minus 20-minute vent. You got it, Jack. So this, of course, y'all, this is a good sign. We want to see the T-minus 20-minute vent happening here. It is normal. It's part of the fueling process. If we didn't see it at T-minus 20, we would be a little bit concerned about what was going on with the launch process there. But T-minus 20 minutes, venting as expected as SpaceX continues to march towards this launch, it looks like. Let's grab some more questions, Gav. See how many we can get in here.
Yeah, absolutely. So a question from Clever Girl who asks, is this happening at Slick 4? The answer is yes, but specifically the launch is from Slick 4 East, and the booster will land at Slick 4 West, aka Landing Zone 4. So the whole operation is Slick 4, but there's slight difference in between the launch and landing site.
It's a very SpaceX numbering scheme there, I guess you could say.
Yes.
I see a couple ship-related questions that.
Well, I was saving them.
You're saving those?
We can hit some ship questions. Okay, so Nicholas Vias asks, are there any cruise ships in the area? Now, if you are watching Monday's launch of CSG2, no, not Monday, Sunday's launch of CSG2, unfortunately there was a scrub because the ship's in the landing zone. But I can verify right now there are no cruise ships anywhere near any security zones today. So the odds of a cruise ship ruining today's launch is very, very slim. Thank you for the question.
No. Don't jinx it. Like,
I don't know if you're happy on good comp, but there are trains that can scrub a launch at Vandenberg. It's kind of interesting.
Trains?
Trains?
You said trains.
Amtrak runs like, maybe half a mile from the pad or so. And there have been times where the train has not stopped when it was supposed to have stopped. So a train can scrub a launch at Vandenberg.
Yeah, I've seen that before. I know that the trains stop for launch windows sometimes. I've heard tell of a train that has been stopped outside the area. I think, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, here we go. Jack was actually panning over, see if that video stabilizes, panning over to show the Amtrak's. Is that how you say that? Amtrak's? The Amtrak tracks? Anyways, show the train tracks that go down there. I think the stop on the train is called Surf Beach. And that right there is a little bit of a train station. You can literally buy a ticket to get off the train there. I'm pretty sure you can, at least. Wow, that surf looks cool, too.
If you want to see the SpaceX pad at Vandenberg up close, the only way you can do it as a member of the public is to ride Amtrak.
Oh, because you ride past the pads, don't you?
You go right past the pads.
Very cool. All right.
If you're up here if you're up here for a launch and you want a little extra treat, book a ride on the Pacific Surfliner, and you'll be able to go straight through Vandenberg. You see everything. You see the Delta 2 pad, now Firefly's pad. You see Slick 4, SpaceX's pad. You even go right past Slick 6 if memory serves. So definitely a treat to do. Although I don't think that's something they necessarily advertise, but it is the case. The Amtrak line follows the coast and goes right through the base. It's awesome.
Well, we're advertising it now. I've been on that. I've been on that train, and I've gone by the pads and looked over, and I'm like, oh, I'm probably the only person looking over on the side nerding out about the pads we were driving past. Let's see. You got some more questions, Gav?
Absolutely. And this might be a question for Jack or Michael on site. Mateus Aldenavs, sorry if I said your name wrong, says, how far is the launch pad from the landing site?
Oh.
Does anyone know? It's very close from Vandenberg.
I mean, the launch pad, like the LZ versus the launch pad is 100 meters away or something like that. It's very close. I know probably Jack or Michael could tell us the
More
exact
than that,
distance.
You'd have to go on Google Maps and measure it.
Off the
top of my head, I want to say 1,500 feet, which I don't know what translates to meters, but it's close. It might be further than that, but of course, the scale of these things are very big, so it's going to sound like a big number, but in person it looks super close.
Yeah.
I've just measured it. I've broken out my Google Maps skills. It is approximately 1,384 feet, or about 420 meters.
420 meters. There we go. Thank you.
I was 200 feet off. I'll take it.
All right. Coming up on 15 minutes here, folks. Again, this is a SpaceX launch happening out on the West Coast. We don't get a lot of those, and it's also an RTLS. It'll be coming back down to the LZ right next to where it takes off. We don't get a lot of those either, so this is sort of a double treat today out on the West Coast. We'll keep grabbing some questions here like we do. Gav, go ahead.
Yeah, good. Just leading off what you said there, a question from Joran, who, if I can open the question, is asking, why are they landing the booster so much on the ground, the landing zone, instead of a drone ship lately? Yeah, it's a good question. It's kind of... the difference between returning to the launch site and using a drone ship entirely depends on mission requirements. It depends on where the rocket's going, what mass is on board. But it's kind of worked out such that the last two missions have been RTLSs rather than using the drone ships. So it's a bit of a generalization to say that they're just suddenly landing a lot more on land. It's completely dependent on the mission. But let's see if we can roll through some other questions in here. Yeah, quick question here from Rad Media. NASASpaceflight, when is the Starlink launch now? So previously, there's been a Starlink launch scheduled from the East Coast for the last couple of days, but it's kept being pushed back by the delayed CSG-2 mission and similar. And it was actually currently scheduled for later on today, but it's now moved, and I believe it is now showing net February 3rd at approximately 1:13 Eastern. So stay tuned for that question, for that launch. Let's see if we can quickly roll through some super chat. There's a whole bunch in the chat. I think we did that one. Josh Pistro says, still not tired of RTS landings. Thank you for the courage. Thank you so much for the $20. Absolutely, RTS landings are something special to see. Harry Bloomberg, thank you so much for becoming a Pad Rat member. Awesome stuff. Let's quickly roll through the rest of these super chats here. I'll save that one. Actually, Darcy, are you back now?
I am. I'm here.
I have a super chat question apparently just for you here.
Uh-oh.
Actually, hang on 2 ticks. Maybe I don't. Hang on, I'm still... I'm working through the question. No, scratch that. Let's just read this one. John Duppercurse, thanks for the $10. No question, just enjoying the show while on my lunch break at work. Thank you so much for the support. All right. Do you want to take over and roll through some of the rest of these super chats for me?
Sure. I can get a couple real quick. Let's see.
Awesome stuff.
I think we've got Alexander Ash. Yeah, we already got that one in. Here is one from James Vaherence. Vaherence? I probably missed an accent on that name, but it says, look forward to every stream and video. Love y'all's work. I like it. And to keep it up, are you going to be streaming the Dream Chaser test flight? I think they'd have a hard time keeping us away from a Dream Chaser test flight, so I'm certainly keen to check that out. James, thank you so much for the support. We like streaming stuff.
Right? Just get it out of the way. Space shuttle. There. We mentioned the shuttle. We can move on. We won't get fired.
Nice, Jack. Here is another one from Astro Canucklead. Canucklead? Head. Canucklehead. That's what it is. It was like on 2 lines. What is the best place to personally view a rocket launch? The Cape, Boca, Vandenberg. You know something? If you're sort of agnostic on the rocket, my favorite place personally to watch a launch is actually over at Wallops in Virginia. It's Antares that flies out of there, but it has what I think is pretty safely the closest public viewing zone that exists. And you can get around 2.1, 2.2, 2.3 miles away with just public area. You don't have to pay anything or anything like that. It is fantastic to watch Antares launch from there. Now, you may turn your nose up and be like, well, Antares, meh. Well, Antares puts payloads into space too. The Cape is also really good because it's a multi-user spaceport. There's so many different companies that are launching out of there. You have a little bit more opportunity to see the launches. And there's also some stuff with the KSC VC, the Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex, where you can purchase tickets to get in closer for different launches, that sort of stuff. That bird is pretty cool too. That bird is hovering there. But I'd say realistically, if you want to catch a launch, the Cape is a pretty good bet just because of the number of providers that are actually launching out of the Cape. Let's see. Yes, Musical Wolves, you do not see the curious 4 white towers. Does that mean a cruise ship took them? Or did SpaceX secretly launch the towers into orbit? They're just not needed here, Musical Wolves. The lack of significant lightning on the West Coast means they don't need the lightning towers there. So we're missing the 4 towers today, but we appreciate the humor. Let's see. Jerwa says DOSBot vacation fun. At first I thought you said DOSBot vaccination fun. And I was like, but the robots don't need vaccinations. They're fine. They have firewalls, I guess, instead of vaccines. But thank you so much for the support, Jerwa. And let's see. Here's the one from James Juries saying, not Falcon or NRO related, but a question for DOS. This was the one for me. What happened to the old high bay RoboCam? 16 nose cones being stacked on an SCM-15 from that cam. High bay RoboCam, I would be totally willing to put a camera on the high bay, but I'd never have put a camera on the high bay. Elon, if you're watching for some reason, you know my number. Like, I'm in the phone, just text me real quick, and I'll show up with a camera we'll put on the high bay. But we used to have some cameras in some different positions, but never one on the high bay. So one or the other, James, thank you so much for the support. Gav, can you grab a couple real quick questions, super chats, whatever?
Are they talking about the VAB? Was there an old camera in a... Was there a robot camera in the VAB at some point? Like
they were talking about SN-15 nose cone being stacked, so it wouldn't be the VAB.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh. Disregard me.
All right. And we're checking some information here, folks. But we're currently 7 minutes and 50 seconds away from the potential launch. But let's see what's going on here. Give us just a second to verify some information.
Throughout this time, the countdown net is silent, which is a good thing. So I'm pretty sure all is currently on track.
Yeah, that's why that's what we were looking at before we jumped on it too much there. So all good, all good.
Yeah, we're all good. Sorry, I'll take the heat for that one.
All right, we'll see if we can't get a couple more questions here in Gav. I got a couple things, a couple hoops to jump through.
I see some questions so up my street. Okay, Shiva Ho says, at NASASpaceflight, anyone know if they plan on recovering the fairings? Yes, SpaceX will attempt to recover both fairing halves today. Their West Coast fairing recovery ship, NRC Quest, is about 360 kilometers downrange, and will hope to bring both fairing halves back to the port of Long Beach in the next couple of days in a good condition. And even more questions that are right up my alley as boat expert. Anthony Carter says, is the drone ship, Of Course I Still Love You, still on the West Coast? Yes, it is. So SpaceX has Of Course I Still Love You on the West Coast, and Just Read the Instructions and a shortfall of Gravitas on the East Coast. There's generally less launches that come out of Vandenberg on the West Coast, so Of Course I Still Love You doesn't get that much activity, but it is still based at the port of Long Beach in California, and will be used by SpaceX as they require. Let's see if there's any more questions in chat as we count down. About T-minus 5 minutes 40 left.
I love that view from the SpaceX feed there. That means that the area around the pad is haze-free and fog-free, and flying spaghetti monster willing, our remotes will get cool imagery. Yay! Hope they work. I really please let them work. Please let them work. Please let them work.
Quick question here from Mist Soala. Sorry if I said that wrong. Can we see this daytime launch from LA? I've had that independently verified. Apparently, yes, you should be able to see this launch from Los Angeles if you look in the right direction.
Cool.
Yeah, awesome stuff. Lego Flight Cam. Could Falcon Heavy launch from Vandenberg? Now, the answer to that, as far as I'm aware, is no. You might want to correct me if I'm wrong. The only pad you can launch Falcon Heavy from is 39A.
So there may be additional mods that are required for Slick 4 to support Falcon Heavy, but it was originally sized to support Falcon Heavy. So, like, flame trench wise, all of that wise, I think even water deluge wise, they are able to support Falcon Heavy, but there might be some other mods that I'm unaware of or forgetting. But currently there are no plans to launch Falcon Heavy from Vandenberg, but hey, we can all hope, especially since we only get one more Delta Heavy, and after that Slick 6 is gonzo, or will be taken over by another provider. And you know what? We need some West Coast Heavy rockets, so hopefully that is in the offing sometime in the future, but that remains to be seen.
Alright, let's see if we can quickly roll through some other quick questions here. This is a classic question I see asked all the time from Mateus. What happened to landing zone 3? Why was it skipped?
Look at Jack real quick here. We backed the camera off, and you've got Mr. Jack Beyer there with his rig in the foreground, waving as he gets ready to track the launch. Nice. We don't often get those behind-the-scenes shots like that, so thanks for letting me jump in real quick there, Gav.
Yeah, awesome stuff. So SpaceX has landing zone 1 and landing zone 2 at on Cape Canaveral, and then landing zone 4 at Vandenberg Space Force Base. As for why they're missing landing zone 3, Das, do you know?
Hey, look, you're asking me to explain how SpaceX numbers things? No, that's bait.
Yeah.
Real quick, I'm going to jump off comms as we're getting closer to launch. I'm going to get my camera set, and I will see you guys on the flip side. Bye.
All right, take it easy, Jack. Good luck.
Yeah, copy that. All right. So just to finish answering that question, the actual reason is landing zone 3 was destined to be built at Cape Canaveral for landing the Falcon Heavy Centaur. If you can imagine all 3 boosters landing back at the Cape, it's just simply never been built, so that's why it is missing. Thank you for the question.
Well, there you go. And we're coming up on under 2 minutes now. In just a second, we're going to be turning on that microphone we've got out in the field to see if we can't get some of the acoustical goodness of the rocket echoing across the... is it a canyon? I guess I could call it a canyon. Anyways, echoing across the terrain there. Let's just leave it at that. And that is a big vent we're seeing. That's what we want to see. Also important for us there as we get ready to see if we get the launch. Let's go ahead and bring that microphone up and listen in. Of course, we may hear Jack saying something too, but let's see.
We're still 12:26 right now.
So coming up on 30 seconds now.
Liftoff of NROL-87. Go Falcon, go.
Listen for the rumble. You can see the two video feeds weren't exactly synced there. It's going to get tricky because we're going to get some sun here. You can already see the lens artifacts happening. We just heard a Max Q call out there. Sounds like that's coming off the speakers there at the press site. We'll start getting the exhaust plume spreading out here as well. Look at that. The rumble of the Falcon 9 fades coming across the canyon there for us. And we're looking straight up the tailpipe now. It's basically just the exhaust plume that we're seeing. Pitching downrange. Got a couple different angles here coming from SpaceX over on the side. And then, of course, the rocket cam that everybody loves. But look at that. This should be interesting. We've got a MECO, and that should be the separation of the booster from the upper stage cloud. What are you doing there? You see a little bit of that plume interaction, even RCS bursts. I guess RCS, the coal gas thrusters, right on the side of the cloud. Wow. I'll take it. We just barely missed the cloud. Look at this, y'all. That's amazing. This is the part where you got to pick one. Are you going to follow the second stage? You're going to stay with the first stage. I think Michael's going to go for the first stage here. as it does its boost back for the RTLS. That second stage continuing on and went off the bottom of the screen. I hope I didn't get them wrong. Look at this. Daytime RCS thrust. That's those cold gas thrusters that sort of help keep the rocket oriented as it needs to control its attitude coming back home. Look at that. Those look like rolls.
I don't think we were expecting this.
Yeah, we weren't expecting this, but those look like roll. It's rolling when it does a little spiral nebula pattern like that. I think that the rocket is asking for roll. When they both go in one direction, I would assume that's a pitch. I guess if they could both go in one direction, up or down, I'd call it a pitch. Side to side, I'd call it a yaw, but that looks like a pitch. Just little puffs. Very glad that Michael had a blanket that he could put over his head so that he could still see the screen here. I don't think we expected to see this during a daytime launch.
No, this is more of a late evening thing, just before or around sunset.
It is. This is fantastic. Again, the rocket just controlling itself, using those coal gas thrusters to control its attitude as it's on the way back down. We can see that up close and personal. Every now and then we'll get them on the SpaceX feed here, and you'll see a big burst of gas come off the side of the rocket. You know something? There was a burst right there. I appreciate you, SpaceX, but look at this. We're still seeing those thruster firings from the camera. Should be coming up on... Nope, not entry burn yet. That's just like a sustained thrust, it looks like. I'm just watching this. This is just cool. I mean, we still have the rocket on the track. Gav.
There's not much to say. Just
I know.
taking it in.
I'm amazed we can still see the rocket on the track. Like,
it's incredible.
It really is. I was not expecting this at all today. I'm, of course, frantically clicking on things. That would be an entry burn.
Wow.
There we go. Get the side-by-side there. A little bit of desync between the two, though.
Looks like that engine burn shut down.
Yep.
Wow.
See, the good news is here, it's got the plume behind it, so you can just follow the plume down to find the rocket. Let's see if we can reacquire the rocket. There it is. Yeah, you can still see that. Here we go. Jack's got it. Look at Jack.
Wow.
We're just going to be jumping back and forth between the two here. Just follow the plume down. If you're operating a camera, follow the plume down. Look at that.
That's the landing burn.
Yep.
Landing leg deploy, looking good.
We may see this twice. I'm going to zoom in here, and we'll have a bit of an instant replay, just the latency between the two. A couple pixels there, but you know something? I'll allow it.
Yeah, I'd call that a successful landing of B-1071 at landing zone 4.
Look at that, folks. That was incredible. That was absolutely incredible. I did not expect that we were going to see that much of it. I thought we were going to be cutting over. But between Jack and Michael operating two different cameras out there, Michael was actually playing a video game with one of the deployable tracking robots that we've put together. And Jack was the old, it's sort of like the John Henry thing, right? The man versus machine. Jack was over there tracking by hand.
Yeah.
And both of them with Michael, that worked fantastically.
I don't know if you have me, so...
We do.
You have me? Okay.
Yes, we got you.
The entire launch was packed with autonomous tracking software. As you can see, and then basically what happened was the stage separation happened, and it became too small for the tracking software to be able to detect the rocket. So I switched to...
Yeah, we got a couple little hiccups there. I know all the photographers are probably uploading all their photos and stuff like that. But what Michael was saying, that track that you saw from the robotic camera there, that was all computer vision. It was autonomous tracking software that Michael wrote himself and integrated into one of the robots that I put together. And so it's literally like a point and shoot. You say, hey, software, this is a rocket. Follow it. Yeah. And the software commands the camera.
I'm back, I think.
Yeah, we got you back. Yeah. Yep, you're back.
I dropped my headset.
Oh.
So, yeah. So, anyway, I was saying the stage separation happened and it became too small, so I just tracked my monitor. And, yeah, on a huge monitor, you can see, obviously, the entire track. And then as the booster was coming back, the booster falls so fast that the control algorithm on the automated tracking was too conservative. I can give it more leeway. It's just it's more risky. So there's work to do on the landing, but on the ascent, it was perfect.
So, y'all, that was fantastic right there. If this is the sort of thing you like to see, you know what to do. You know how to get back to our channel. Make sure you click subscribe there. If you like, click the little thumbs up thing. Help other people know that it was sort of a cool video that we were able to share today. Michael, can we back off a little bit and get the valley and stuff like that in the foreground? Maybe the launch pad and the LZ so we can show how far away the two are.
Wow, I'm shaking still.
Jack?
That was awesome. That was awesome.
Jack, what'd you think of that cloud? We got so lucky with that cloud.
Yeah, we got real lucky with that cloud. I'm just still in awe. That was awesome. It's the closest I've been able to see an RTLS from so far. I haven't watched one from the press site yet, and that was really, truly amazing. Hopefully the views that we provided were awesome, and thank you everybody for watching. I'm going to start packing up.
Yeah, pack up, get your stuff uploaded, Jack, all that sort of stuff. We may have like a very hot shutdown here because I do know that they need to shut down the robots and get packed up and stuff. I'm actually taking manual control of the robot because I want my shot. I want to see the empty landing pad, the empty launch pad. There we go.
Yes.
So that is the difference between the two. I've logged into the robot from my house in Charlotte, and I'm able to pan it over to the side there, and you can see the launch pad, the Slick 4E, that it took off from, and then right there, what did we say it was? 400 meters?
420 meters, or about 1,380-ish feet.
So just 400 plus meters away, the rocket has landed there after sending NROL on its way up. Now, again, these missions usually don't get a lot of information, but all missions continue going until spacecraft separation. I know SpaceX did a shutdown there because NROL sort of asks you to stop talking about their satellites once that second stage keeps going on. But I'm sure at some point we'll get some sort of confirmation of a successful mission. It's just we don't usually get that in real time when it's NROL. But here, since we've got our own video assets out there, a fantastic job by both Michael and Jack. The manual track, the robotic track, daytime cold gas thrusters, the entry burn, the plume. I mean, that was cool. I am going to ask out loud real quick, Jack and Michael. I don't actually know how much longer I've got your cameras for.
We got to pack up.
You're losing it now. You're losing them now.
All right, so y'all have to be packing up. Let me find another camera to jump to really quickly. Oh, geez. I guess that one will work while we do the outro for the stream. This, of course, is not NROL-87. I've just cut over, and Michael and Jack, y'all are both clear to pack up. I've just cut back over to one of our live cameras from Starbase Live. Down at Boca Chica, Texas, other SpaceX operations that have nothing to do with the classified payloads, but maybe one day. Hopefully I'm not confusing. Chat, am I confusing people? Like, are y'all being confused?
I'm seeing a lot of Starship in the chat, so I think everyone knows exactly what we're looking at.
Yeah, okay, good. This is no longer Vandenberg anymore. I should probably remove the ticker and stuff. Let me say thank you to some people with some super chats real quick. Of course, we often don't have a chance to read them all. I'm going to speed run some of them. Please don't be confused. This is not Vandenberg anymore. I mean, I have lots of cameras at Boca Chica that I could choose from, though. Like, there's all sorts of things that you can see. I can put on the screen from Boca. All this comes into our video infrastructure, and we can use it on any of our live streams. Again, not Vandenberg. But
amazingly, though, every shot you flick to has several cranes in it, amazingly.
Several cranes, rockets sometimes. Here, I got this one. They're building that extra wide bay, high bay, turbo, mega bay, super bay. I don't know what it's called. Elon needs to tweet something about that. But we have lots of things to look at over there. I was doing super chats. David Dean, thank you so much. It's normal. The SpaceX upper stage impacting the moon, it happens sometimes. It's not negligence or anything. In fact, there's going to be some science that happens from it. There's sensors on the moon that we can use to learn about the moon when things crash into it. A lot of things have actually crashed on the moon all the way back to the Apollo days. So, good question there. Thank you so much for the support. I'm going to speed run some of these, y'all. I'm not going to be able to get to all of them. Again, this is not Vandenberg. This is one of our Starship cameras from our Starbase live stream. G. Forbes, thank you so much. You said if a scrub should happen today, hey, good news. Scrub did not happen today. Will the launch happen the same time on a later day or slip by a short time? That is a good question. Gav, I don't know off the top of my head for this orbit if it would have been moving around, or was it like the CSG-2 where it was the same time each day because the orbit it was going to?
I'm pretty sure the backup opportunity was the same. Yeah, I can see it here. The backup opportunity was for tomorrow at the exact same time. So yes, it would have been. There
you go. So one of those orbits where it's the same time every day, not something that you have to phase like the a run of one with the ISS or something. Trivgit? Scarin, thank you so much for the NOK. We appreciate you. I got to speed run some of these, y'all. Brad Wynn, how does SpaceX determine which location to launch from? The spaceport availability and the mission. Certain trajectories are better from certain places. Vandenberg, of course, is really good at the polar trajectories. Not so much if you're going to the east, because you would overfly land. So if you're going to the east, you're going to choose Cape Canaveral, where you're on the east close to Florida. You can go to the east, no problem. So the payloads, the availability, sometimes we've seen them choose the Cape or Vandy because of just traffic, like literally stacks of rockets waiting to launch at each facility, and the waiting list was shorter. There was less rocket traffic at Vandenberg, so they launched out of Vandy instead of the Cape. But good questions there. Thank you so much. We've got Musical Wolves. Will the booster see its shadow? Hey, you know something? I hope we get 6 more weeks of RTLS, Musical Wolves. Thank you for the support. Christoph Hill, thank you so much. We've got Hull Speed. That was a Padrat member. Thank you, Hull Speed. Coolest Tracking, Luis Andre Bergeron. Thank you so much from Canada. We appreciate the kind words there. Beamer Geezer, thanks, guys. Wonderful coverage, as always. Appreciate the support. Chris Mule. However you say your name, we appreciate you. Excellent work, people. Thank you so much. Jake Tobin, well done. Love all the coverage. Daniel Floyd, gosh, y'all, there's so many nice words in here. So much kind words, so much praise in the chat. Awesome work, guys. Thanks for making this accessible to all of us. Absolutely. Charlotte G, absolutely beautiful. M. Zavy, nice tracking, guys. Musical Wolves, there's the booster saw shadow. Thank you. Robert Kirsch, I'm literally just scrolling through the list. Another set of incredible tracks. Dog Cruise. Stacy Cusack, no question. Just wanted to thank you for the stunning coverage. Donald Carruthers with a similar... Are y'all just continuing to super chat? I thought I only had a couple left. Thank you so much, Donald Carruthers. Vince Wynn. IGP Michael? I think. And then smooth juice, some fuel money, stunning camera work. Why don't we see more of Elon on your streams? I think you're thinking more like a TMZ sort of thing. Like we're not paparazzi-ing. I don't know if that's a verb.
But we should clarify that if Elon wants to come on an NSS stream, he is more than welcome to.
Absolutely. Like if he wants to be on the stream, he knows which door to knock on. But we don't go chasing him down the street or his plane or anything like that. We like to cover the rockets, and if Elon wants to talk about the rockets, I mean, he knows who to get in contact with. We've also got Fernando Ferrer as well, all the way up to Red Team. Thank you so much for the support, Fernando Ferrer. But y'all, I could keep showing you Starship views. I don't really have any more views from Vandenberg right now. Michael and Jack, both out there today, giving us some fantastic views of that NROL launch with the Falcon 9. I was going to say, like, give them a round of applause or something, but I'm not. Can we do that? Like in chat, like clapping emotes or something? I don't know. Massive thanks to Michael Baylor, who was out there in the field today running a robot. I built it here at my place. I shipped it to him. He programmed some computer vision tracking software for it, and that is how we got that fantastic long-range track all day. That was Michael Baylor, who's now packing things up. Hey, look at this. There are clapping emojis. Well, thank you. That worked out well. Hey, also massive thanks to Mr. Jack Beyer. He was also out in the field right next to Michael, and he was tracking with his camera, giving us multiple fantastic views of the launch. Of course, you can find both Jack and Michael on Twitter. Jack's at the Jack Beyer up there. Michael is at NextSpaceflight. Mods, toss the links into chat. Yeah, Marita, thank you for tossing the links into chat. In the studio with me, Mr. Gavin. Thank you so much for the help, man.
Hey, that was awesome. I'm still reeling from the amazing footage we just saw.
Yeah, I was not expecting the thruster firings, you know?
No, absolutely. I'm still speechless.
And if I was good at this, I would actually click on your name and then make the little tag appear with your name on it like that. It'll slide out. There we go. Of course, yeah. You can follow Gav on Twitter. He's at Space Offshore. Put that link into chat as well there so y'all can click on it. And then lastly, my name is John Galloway for NASASpaceflight. If you watch me over on Twitch, hey Twitch, thanks for watching. You may know me as DOS, but that's going to go ahead and end our live coverage. A fantastic view of NROL-87 today, and some fantastic views of Starship as well. Thank y'all so much for joining us, and we will see you nerds later.
Propulsion continues to be normal.
RCP chamber pressure looks good. Toggling up. Roger roll, Atlantic.
Water towers can fly!
Tango Delta nominal.
Flight down SE off. Bring in SE off.
Yikes. You bet. Concur. We don't need any more of these.